Anime fans, you know what time it is. Anime cookout. Um, it's not our big. Well, I don't know. I want to say it's not our big cooking because Demon Slayer is on the grill, and it's a big one.
Yeah, I
Um,
wouldn't say it's like big, but I mean, it's a good Sun. Well, it was a good Sunday. It was a good
yeah.
Sunday. I think, all in all, Demon Slayer really came through. It was really good. My home hero was, it's following along in the thread of the spider web, and then you're gonna cover over One Piece. I'm not sure how that went, but I guess it went good. So I have to assume. And then we're gonna go through the top 10, this week's rankings for the top 10. So yeah, absolutely, man. So Nick, you want to kick us off on our One Piece?
So if you're keeping up with the anime, which I know not many are, we finally got to see Zoro and King fight. The two right hands of basically the main bosses right now, Luffy and Kaido. And I liked it because it did what we like on this show, which is gives me backstory, but doesn't go too much into it. And so it literally told the backstory of King, of how Kaido found him, of how he became his right hand man, and why he was so loyal to Kaido. But then it also intertwined and it came back to Zoro's story of Zoro telling Luffy, I'm going to be your right hand. You're going to be the king of the pirates. I'm going to make sure of it. And so you see these two guys going full fledged at it. And we see the artwork that One Piece creator was saying that he was going to give us, which is totally different. If you haven't seen it, you can look at our TikTok. I put it up there of their fight. But all in all, man, it gave me watching Demon Slayer and watching One Piece. I'm not gonna say it matched because it can't compare to Demon Slayer, but whenever you saw the dragon come out, the wooden dragon thing come out, One Piece kind of had that, but it was like a fire kind of thing and all that stuff. So it's kind of funny because I saw them right after each other. Bless you.
Yeah, excuse me.
And I just was like, "Oh, this is so good." But the fighting scene of this one was where it was at because Zoro is one of the all-time favorites of One Piece. He's a character that majority of people love, and you see his determination, his willpower to make sure that his king, because he says in this episode, him and Sanji, which are the two guys behind me right here, Sanji and Zoro, they said if we're able to beat our guys, that means that our captain is one step closer to becoming the king of the pirates, and that's what they want. And Zoro, if nobody's watched it, Zoro said this in the first season when he first lost his only battle besides to his best friend, Mihawk, which is the number one swordsman, beat him, sliced him up, and he told Luffy, I am never going to lose again until I defeat this guy and become the best swordsman ever. And he's kept that promise to Luffy and all that stuff. And so what this episode was their battle, the major battle. Zoro won. Spoiler alert, sorry. And now we're leading into the next 2 to 3 episodes are going to be pretty much the cleanup of the rest of the crew members and the rest of the allies fighting off the other ones. And then we get the mega part, which is probably going to blow up all over the internet when Luffy is animated into his final form of God. And so like the god of One Piece, the god Sun God, I think is what they call him on there. He has a bunch of different names. And so that's going to be
Is
episode.
that the like the dragon,
No,
the
so the
yellow dragon,
dragon is
or
the blue dragon is Kaido. He can turn into like a dragon. Then there's a pink dragon, which is Momo, which is the leader of the samurai land, which is Wano and all that stuff. So Luffy, he's like in this form right here where he's just laughing. So he
uh
almost dies, and then he just starts laughing, and
okay.
they're kind of like, "What is going on here?" But that's like his form. Like he's just it doesn't care. It kind of reminds me of like a super strong like Majin Buu type of thing. Like where it's just like, like you try to hit him and it's just like, like he doesn't care. It's like no care is given and all that. But it's like he's tapping into that, and so everybody in the story, once they find out that that's him, because these pictures are their wanted posters, so everybody around the world notices that Luffy is this type of Luffy, and they realize, oh, this is not normal. This is a like a top guy now, and he becomes one of the top guys in the world and
Nah,
everything. Now, I've
okay.
read the mangas because I could not wait. So I know where we're leading because the mangas are heating up fast and they are going into like whenever I told you that he said after this is the story of One Piece, and he is not lying because they are going into all the details that I've been waiting for probably 12 years to know. They're giving every secret. They're going into different people and characters, new characters I've never seen before, and then they're building up these wars that are about to happen. And so when those get animated, they're going to be really good. But for the manga readers, yeah, if you're a One Piece fan and you're like me that you can't wait, just start reading because it gets really good. I say,
Nice. Nice. Well, it sounds like, man, One Piece is really starting to shape up, man. Most people I know are excited now that they're moving past this kind of art and then like getting into new stuff. Like, I think it does get kind of repetitive, like especially with Dragon Ball when they don't introduce anything new for like years and
yeah,
years. So you're like seeing the same people play over and over and over. There's only so many times you can see a Trunk story about the past, right? Or about the new
yeah,
future, right? So it's cool when like they introduce Beerus and the whole, God arc and everything, and then like later down the road it's going to be like more of like another android situation, but it's like beyond android situation. So it's like it's good to see those new things that pop up, versus, oh man, you're watching, Majin Buu turn evil again. It's like, okay, man, it gets boring, so,
yeah.
as much as you love them, it gets boring, right? So yeah, definitely, man. So One Piece, man, what would you rate One Piece, man? This episode.
Man, for me, this episode, I have to give it like a 4.7, 4.8.
Nice.
As a
Okay.
like it's one of the more like I would say because it's not an episode where it overflowed you with information. There was not many flashbacks that you didn't care to see. It was a lot of fighting. It was a lot of like when they did talk, but it was like dialogue that you would hear from like each side. They were trying to like talk to each other, kind of like
Yeah.
this is why my guy's gonna be the king. This is why my guy's gonna be the king. But the fighting scenes, like when I made my TikTok video, I was mad. I cut like 4 to 5 minutes out of it, and I was like, I just couldn't add anymore. And I was like, no, nah, let's just cut it. But they fought for a while. Like they would fight, then you would see like a flashback, then it went right back to fighting, then flashback. And so I said there was a lot of it. Um, but like I've seen with these episodes, it has the fighting, and then it's going back into talking and it's going to do fighting and then go back and talking. So I said I'll give it a higher score, about 4.7, 4.8. There's always stuff they
Okay.
can fix on it.
So I
Yeah.
think you have it better than last week's, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. This fight compared to last week's fight was, yeah. And I'm kind of biased also. Zoro is one of my favorite characters
Ah,
yeah, in
got
anime. So.
All right, man. Okay, well, you hear it here, man. He's biased for Zoro. Quick question on the dude. All right, man. So sounds good, man. Well, it looks like it's shaping up. The only really news that popped out on that one was, let me get there. Oh, that's Demon Slayer, Jujutsu Kaisen. I think I saw something about it. It was like they're bringing back original voice actors and new images and stuff like that. So that's the most news I see on right here. Here we go. The One Piece anime did a wonderful job bringing in the new highlights of the manga. Okay, okay. So it's of Wano's to life. So does that mean anything to you?
What?
The One Piece anime did a wonderful job bringing the highlights of Wano to life.
Yeah, I because what they were saying, it's like one man's animation worker is what I was reading from it. It was kind of hard. It was like broken translation. But yeah, they were
Oh,
saying like it was they were like give props to for this one man's animation of the what the manga is doing because it has stayed true to it. And I mean, I'm you know how you see some animes where they have like one episode is one manga and they stay on that. This one kind of like tied a few of those together because when I was reading this, I remember I was reading this about a year ago. I was like two, three, four of them, and I would get the backstory. But I'm like, man, I really don't need the rest of this details. Like it's kind of eh. So they got all the key parts of them and then just animated it, and I was like, okay, this was enough for me to understand what's going on and not have to get all that extra dialogue of this and that because some of it wasn't important. But I do agree. Like from looking at it on the manga and then looking at animation, they're doing fantastic so far with these two battles that we saw of what has been animated to that standard.
all right. Nice, nice. All right, man. Well, it sounds good. All right, man. So let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Is gonna be My Home Hero. Okay. So their things are heating up, they're getting things going. So he convinced him to take oh, let me see. Let me get that real quick. Let me get that real quick. Real quick. Okay. All right. Uh Tetsuo convinces Kyochi to take him to his apartment, uh, where he's actual bag covered to his body, like the bones inside of it. So he's like trying to worm his way into getting him to get to the house so he can plant the bag there. But it's a game of cat and mouse right now. They're basically he's trying. Ryoki is figuring out that somebody's trying to set him up, but he doesn't know who. And he's to me, I think he's a detective, and I think they're gonna like flip the script halfway through and be like cover cop this whole time because he's kind of piecing together a lot of things really quick, really fast, and it doesn't really suit Yakuza style, right? So things are heating up. He was supposed to meet Reiki last. He was supposed to meet Reiki at the train station, but the mom ended up diverting her away, giving Tetsuo some time to sneak into the house, but wasn't able to make it in. So now Kyochi is basically figuring everything out. He's like slow is the spider's web, which is Tiochi trying to spin the spider's web. So, but it ain't really working out. So he's getting there. It's gonna be shaping up. Next week's episode probably gonna be wrapping most of this up, either leaving us on a big cliffhanger, or it's gonna be like wrapping this portion of the storyline up. So it's a good one. So go ahead and jump on it if you haven't already seen it. But go check it out now. For the last anime on Sunday, we have our number one, Demon Slayer. So this one episode was worth a watch. If you haven't seen it yet, go jump in there, go watch it. I think I'm crashing my computer because I'm just like it's so excited. It loves this show so much, so it's like taking all my bandwidth alive. So, so the episode is called "Awful Villain," right? And it kind of threw that monkey wrench in there from the perspective of the demon.
Yeah,
Like the demon was like, you're an awful villain. And we're over here thinking it was going to be like Tanjiro or Mochi, basically saying, Mochiro basically saying, like, oh, these guys are awful villains because they are, right? But
yeah,
it's like flip the script because it's in their perspective. Like, Demon Slayers or Hashiras are the awful villains because they're the hunters, right? They're getting hunted
yeah,
by them, right? So it's like, oh man, that's a pretty good perspective on things. It's not always black and white, right? Because
yeah,
we don't, as we learn back prior with with 6 and 7 of the upper moons, the brother and sister. Like we learned, like they had tragic backstories. It wasn't like they were just like oh they were always evil, and they're always bad, right? It's not necessarily that. It was turned out to be a little mix of both in the gray area, and that's why I think Demon Slayer does so well in the storytelling, is because it gives you very vague and gray things. Because there are Hashira that we would consider bad and evil, right? Because they do a lot of evil stuff, but they're doing it all in the name of good, right? So it's
Yeah.
like that gray zone that everybody's walking. Yeah, everybody's walking that gray line. So and Tanjiro is like trying to be the purest at it, right? And it's like I guess that's why it opens him up to be like really, really good at his art, right? So we cut into the forest. Tanjiro is chasing the smaller smaller level 4 moon 4. Sorry about that. And so it really didn't give him a name other than Moon 4. And I found that really interesting because it now makes you really think like, what is he, right? Like, what is that? Is that like
Yeah.
just the subconscious of all the rest of them? Because they gave everybody else. I think it was like it was pride, it was joy, it was hopefulness, and then I think it was one more, and I can't remember what the one more was. Um, but maybe it was mercy or something like that. But like so it was each four had like its own like personality rate, right? So they all combined in together into one being, and that was the upper four. Like he combined himself, so that's why whenever Tanjiro was about to take the head off of the little Smurf, I'm gonna call him a Smurf, right? A little Smurf one, he was just like he stopped in his tracks because he could smell and he could feel a fifth demon behind him. And he was like, I haven't seen this fifth demon before. And as he's making that swing and as he's like ready to take the head off, all of a sudden it's like, boom, he's getting snatched up by his sister Nezuko. And Nezuko grabs him and she ends up getting her legs and her arm bitten off. And it turns out that this new demon, the upper four demon, is this combination of demon of all those four other demons put together of the upper four moon. And he basically is like, I guess, like the transformation. So this is where I really had a problem with this type of like styling, is because it's like, I mean, it's kind of not original, right? Like, I mean, we have Cell who did it, we have Majin Buu who did it, we have like so many other like bad guys do it within like the anime, right? Where they like start absorbing the other, yeah, exactly, and then they turn into this ultimate bad guy, and it's sort of kind of played out. So I kind of had a problem with it. Don't get me wrong, it was good, but I was kind of like, oh, man, we already seen this before. Where's like the jar one, like the upper five, like that's original. Like
Yeah.
other than like scary yokai
Yeah.
stuff, I haven't
Yeah.
really seen that as a villain, right? Which is really cool. And I mean, there's probably out there. I'm not gonna say there isn't, right? But I mean, like very rare do you see that kind of villain, and that's cool, so they have like originality for the rest of them, right? But it's like this one was kind of like, oh man, we already see this, right? So he absorbed he absorbed them, and to take it back, to be truthful, we already seen this kind of monster before. If you go back to the first season, and he's in the house of mazes, and he uses the drum to shift the house, the spectrum, the dimensions of the house with his drums. And this is the same thing, but he's just controlling a wooden monster. You know what I'm saying? So we already have that. We already seen this kind of thing. So kind of, I was kind of played out with it. But I mean,
Yeah.
if you don't, if you can't criticize something that you really like, then do you really like it, right? So I mean, like, are you just fanboying on it, right? Like that's what I don't want to do. I don't want to fanboy. I want to be honest about it. So we already seen this type of monster before. Guild is basically with his gun. He's ready to pop a shot off. Which I don't know why he didn't take it, but I guess he really didn't want to hurt Tanjiro because I thought he was gonna take that shot. I was just like waiting for him to take the shot or maybe like skim in the back of the head or something like that. But it didn't happen. So Tanjiro is fighting. They end it right there. Really good. It left on the cliffhanger. I was just like, oh Lord, bro. We sort of already know what's gonna happen from the title cards and everything. The
Yeah.
Hashira with the pink hair, she's gonna come in. She's gonna start fighting the upper four and everything. So we already know what's gonna really happen because title cards. Why they do that in the title cards, I have no idea. Because like when I'm watching it, it's like, oh, we already know where this is going. Like,
Yeah.
why give it away in the title card? I don't understand.
I think that's for social media though, because I've been noticing a lot of them put the title card and then they'll put a picture, and people are like on Twitter are like amazed at it, like, oh my gosh, this is what we're getting. I got to make sure I don't do anything at this moment to watch it. And it's like I was gonna watch it anyway, like
Yeah, but why do it? Like,
for those
I hate
people,
when
for those
animes do that.
people.
Like, Black Clover like gave away the ending of season one in the
Yeah,
title. Like if you watch it all the way through, right, and then you watch the very first title card, they gave the entire episode away, that the ending away, and you're like, what the heck, dude?
you still watched it.
Like I already saw the ending. Like, oh man, it kills it, So
Yeah,
I don't know. It's just me. So upper five demon. He has a hold of Mochiro, Mochiro, and Mochiro is struggling for breath, for air. He's in that jar. Look, this time lapse must be like a minute, 2 minute max, right? Like all of this is happening. Like, think about it. I was thinking about it. Like, he's been holding his he's been holding his breath for 3 episodes.
yeah,
Like, legit holding his breath for 3 of it. It's like with all of this taking place in like a minute, 2 minutes. Like, let's see, he has really good breath holding, right? So I mean, three, maybe four, but I mean, beyond that, he's going on like god levels of holding,
yeah.
right?
I mean,
Like
I
beyond.
don't think we can. I don't. When it comes to anime, though, I don't critique it as that. Like, I kind of just like.
No,
I
you
mean,
got to
you.
critique it
I
like that.
don't.
You
This
got
dude got freaking poisons in him, and you're critiquing his air
no,
in the water. Like,
no, you gotta critique it like that, man. You gotta hold these guys accountable for time frames, man. Like, you can't like I saw this one tweet was that he's actually so what Tanjiro is doing, he's taking and combining everything he's learned in battle so far. They're saying he's using Zetsu's lightning speed
yeah,
for his slashes, and he's using oh man, I forgot the flaming Hashira's name. Oh, that's gonna kill me. The flaming Hashira before him, the one who died. That he's using his swing techniques for his fire blade. He was using his swing techniques, so they were like matching them together, and which makes sense. And that's why what makes Tanjiro so good in battle is that he's able to adapt. What's gonna work in that situation, and that's what Mochiro is lacking in his training. That he's not adapting in battle situations. He's like saying, okay, this is the way it is, it's rigid, this is the way I'm gonna fight. And that's what's causing the issue on his end, and that's why he's having those troubles. So he's got stuck. Badass moment was when the upper four was taking on the swordsmith, and he's like sitting there sharpening that 200-year-old blade, and he's like, oh my god, I can't believe we made this blade, it's all awesome. And he's like, nobody signed it, that's just how badass it is and everything. And he's still sharpening the upper five is like, doing monstrous stuff to his back. And then we find out at the very very end credits, like, he's been training ever since, like, his whole life, just to be as tough as a Hashira, so that he can, like, withstand that kind of or not withstand, but to show his respect that they work hard, he's gonna work hard, right? So
yeah,
it makes sense. Then they finally reveal his face. He's all badass looking. Every girl loved it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Fangirl service, right? That they've been wanting that. Then, so that being said, uh, little Hyoko, or is it Hyoko or Hyako? He ends up getting into the bubble, trying to bust him out free. He gets stabbed in the stomach. He then breathes some breath, some bubbles into the actual jar of water, and then allows Moshiro to breathe in. He remembers his father, and then that's why he remembers Tanjiro so well, is from his red eyes. Now, what are the significance of the red eyes? May have been said something in season 1 or season 2 that I missed, but like the most I could most I could think of was that it just signifies the what do you call them? They have the special gift of able to obtain all 5 of those elements, right? I think it was like earth, wind, water, fire, right? And mist, right? They're able to use and combine in all those. So that's why his father was Tanjiro's father was able to do it. Prior to that was in those spoilers if you haven't known, but it was the original Hashira who was able to obtain all 5. And then then we learned like I'm not gonna spoil it because it's really cool because it's my kind of favorite. But he breathes up Hyotoko. He breathes air into the jar. Moshiro is able to breathe, and then he breaks free, and then smack dab did it to us again, man. It ends right there, and I'm like, oh Lord, why do you do this to me? Like, damn, you director, you really know how to just catch us in the end. Because I was like, my eyes were glued to that TV, man. I was
Man,
like, heck yeah, man, what's gonna happen next? And then like, oh
th-
dang it,
they got
man.
me 2 weeks already in a row. I already timed it.
And I think wait, oh, it's Hell's Paradise, it's not coming out, right? Yeah,
No,
so man, good thing we're gonna have an episode 8, man, because oh my god, I was like, oh no. So now that being said, what it gives out, oh, someone mentioned to Mauricio has been underwater. How isn't he dead? I told you, like I told you,
bro,
people are weak. Like
y'all are
dude
looking
has been
too
in that
detailed in
bubble.
it.
Oh,
We,
look, you have to make some
bro,
sense of this time. You really do. You really do, bro. Because it doesn't make sense.
I don't care
Is
about.
Tanjiro fighting these guys left and right, like 20, like boom, 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 boom. Like, I don't get it, bro. Like he's been in that water forever. They better have some explanations whenever he gets out of that water. All right. So that's all I'm saying. So with that being said, I give it definitely a 4.7, 4.8. It's like right on that cusp of like almost darn near perfect. What really slowed it down was not originality on that character. Really, for me, it wasn't the originality on the character. We've already seen that before. Also, on top of that, it was kind of like dragged a little bit. Like I think
Yeah,
it just been a little too long of with Mauricio inside the actual bubble and stuff like that. It was kind of dragging. It was like, okay, yeah, yeah, we get it. We love your father. Like hell out and let's start doing something. We've been spoiled up to this point, and we want to just hit it back with a little bit of gravitas in the end, right? Because we know it's getting to that point where they're gonna do the big showdown, right? So yeah, so it's called Awful Villain, man. So what do you think, man? What was jamming in your circle with this one?
definitely wasn't the breathing like y'all are saying. Uh, it did have moments where it fell off for me, where like I was like, oh, and then it kind of slowed down, and
Yeah.
oh, and then it slowed down a bit, and but I liked it. I enjoyed it. I would say about 4.6 for me. Seeing the fish stab the little kid, I just laughed, not because he got stabbed, but because of the 3D of it, and I was like, oh
Oh,
man, he's gonna hate that. So
yeah, I didn't even want to bring it up because I know that's my biggest gripe.
yeah,
When
I
when the
I
smoke
just
blew
saw
up out of the forest and it was 3D animation, I was like, "What for, Nick?" I was like, "Nick, what for did we need 3D animation smoke, man?" So yeah, definitely, man.
yeah, it was one of those things where it was like it was just like, oh man. I saw it and I was like, I'm not gonna bring it up, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna bring it up. Yeah, but no, I enjoyed it. It was good. It was an all out good one. It's hard to gripe on Demon Slayer. So
Hey man, like I said, if you don't have something to pick at it, then do you really love
it,
it?
I
You gotta
pick at
critique it
it
all the way through, man. You
at
gotta find the
11
good,
at
the bad,
night.
the ugly.
I'm not. I don't have the energy to pick at it. If you got me at 7 p.m. today, I would have been like, yeah, there's a little. Hey,
All right, all right, all right, all right.
they got me on the when the grill's low and the fire's died. That's where it's at for me right now. I was like, you know what, y'all made it. Y'all made it out, Demon Slayer. You got this. Hey.
All right, man. Okay, okay. All right, man. So that being said, news on Demon Slayer, anime adaptation hits manga on a weekly basis. A new key visual dropped today, along with the new cast addition. Joining the lineup this time around is Kyochi Yamada, and who that is Spike Siegel in Cowboy Bebop. So he is the voice of Spike Siegel. So if you know who that is, jump on their Twitter. It's gonna show you a picture. He's pretty well known, man. He does a ton of anime, man. Whenever I looked into him, man, he was just like, dude, his list is like 6 pages long of how many animes he does. So and then plus, man, just FYI out there, man, like the voice actors in anime, dude, it's like repeats, bro. Like, dude, it's
When I see their
repeats.
birthdays and they have the pictures, I'm always like,
Yeah, dude, it's like the same people.
yeah,
Dude, give other people a shot. Like, same thing with Americans too.
yeah.
It's like, dude, man, so many repeats, man. But Phil Lamar, number one, greatest voice actor right there. And next to who does oh my God, Bob's Burgers. Who does Bob's Burgers? Do you know?
You guys
He
probably
does Archer and Bob's Burger. God, I
I don't
love his
know voice
voice.
actors like that. You asking the
Oh, you
wrong
know?
person.
Oh man,
You're talking
I
to the
love it.
wrong person. I was like, yeah, I know that they do the same, but I don't. You could throw
Yeah,
names
man.
out all day
Oh
at me,
man,
and I'm like, I don't know who you talking about. I'm a face person,
it'll
bro.
come to me, man. But
Yeah,
I love his voice,
yeah.
dude. He has like the most unique voice, man, and he's really cool, dude. But yes, so that was Demon Slayer news that popped up this week. On top of that, let's jump into it real quick. It's gonna be our top 10. Really much didn't really move. So we'll just jam it out real quick. Number 10, Kobu Won't Let Me Be Invisible. Never even seen it. It's a mid, it's been on there 10. Moved up 4 spaces, which we knew it would because it was like last week was that was kind of filler episode. Mashal and the Mashal moved up 4 spaces, ranking from 13 to number 4. It's just filler episode. We knew like nothing's really going on. We're all in the mid seasons. This week coming up, which we just discovered, Demon Slayer starts their week off. So that's why Demon Slayer is constantly pushed back, and we're watching it early and being like, oh my God, and then why is it in others? Because they're like counting last week. So but even then, shame on you. People, go vote Demon Slayer number 1. I'm tired of the other one. So that being said, Insomniac After School moved up, went from 9 to number 8. Number 7 is Tongyo Damiyoko. That's number 3. If you don't remember that one is oh man, I forgot the English translation, but it's something about their ghost worlds. They live in ghost worlds and stuff like that. This one dropped. Of course, it's gonna drop because like everything else is so much better than this. Vinland Saga season 2. It dropped from 5 to 6. It's gonna. What I tell you, it's gonna keep on
Yeah,
dropping. It's gonna keep on dropping.
yeah.
There are a lot of seasons are shaking up because they're getting, they're ending and they're getting to their high points. So this one is already done for. 5, Danger in My Heart. Never even see. Oh, I think I mentioned this last time. I have not seen it. It went from 8 to 3. So if that's your thing, jump in there. It looks like a shojo. I may be wrong, but I'll look into it just to give you a little recap of what that is because it's been 2 weeks on the list. So it looks like it may go third because if it just went up to ranking 5, it may stick on there. on the top 10. Number 4 dropped down from number 3 to number 4. Loving Yamada at level 9999, which is okay because this was a really hard week for it. Number 3, Demon Slayer, Swordsman Village Arc. They're going after last week's Demon Slayer, so which was a good episode.
No.
Yeah, it was a good episode. Got you in the heart, got you knowing where these guys are coming from. So Gyo, right? Like where he's coming from, right? Number 2 went up from 4 to 2, which we knew that was gonna happen. It's always gonna stay in the top 3. It sells Paradise. Last week's episode, banger, right? It was really good, but it's gonna get better. So the way everything looked hadn't changed. It actually gained in popularity. Oshinoko apparently is really good. One day, I swear to you guys, I will watch this darn show. It's just so much to watch, and then I got to jump onto a different platform to watch it. And it's like, oh my god, man! Like y'all haven't told me, hey Andrew, go watch Oshinoko. So I'm like doing all my spare time. So I got some homework to do. Nick got some homework to do. We got our homework to do. Just to let you know, FYI, Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2, Hidden Inventory, Premature Death, new trailer has been issued out. So go check it out. Shibuya Incident anime character artwork has been released. So this is going to be July 6th, the season premiere, Season 2. I personally don't think it's going to be... It may be awesome. It really may be awesome. I just don't like that they're going back in time and doing prequels. That's my only issue. Like a whole season on prequels or half a season, whatever they're gonna do. Oh wait, I take that back. Yes, I know. I see the money hands. Yes, I see the money hands. Yeah, everyone likes Gojo. Yeah, I can't. Every girl loves Gojo, man. Like, I mean, come on, you get lost in the man's eyes, man. Like, beautiful eyes. So, all right. So back to get out of that rant. That being said, Attack on Titan final season, the final chapters, part 2, says goodbye to new key visual. If you haven't read the article, go read it. It's really good. But it comes out general in fall of 2023 is when the final season. They already put out the poster art for it. It's the last one, Attack on Titan. If you don't know, part 1 is already out, and then part 2 is coming out, and then it's finito, right? It's really good. I mean, it answered a lot of questions. It continues the story. This one's supposed to just wrap it all up, and then it's probably going to be an hour and a half like the first one, where it's just gonna, or maybe 2 hours, and just dump everything on us, right? But if you haven't read the anime already, the manga already, I don't know if it follows true to it or if it doesn't. But as far as I know, they said it's going to be really good. So, boom. Anything else on our things? Nope. That's it. All righty, guys. Well, that is the wrap up today. Boom. We like you guys. Love you guys. Subscribe, like, share, comment, all those other wonderful things. Go on our social medias. Click, and then we turn off the grills. Turn them all off, and then now we say goodnight. You don't have to stay, but you gotta go home. All right? All right, guys. Y'all have yourself a good one, man. All right. Later.
How much I'm working for this? I swear my dreams are too important.